So guys, hello, welcome to the 18 to 19 season of Ricky Fans Home. Yes, we're starting 12 weeks early. We're here with our new show, the Vanarama National League South Roundup. So Lee, there's only one place to start. Sammy Moore has become Concord Rangers manager. How do you think he's going to do? Because he's come from a place in Leatherhead where he failed to reach the playoffs on the negative, but he's a really good manager with contacts that are going to help Concord.
I think it's a great appointment for Concord Rangers. I think Sammy Moore is an exciting manager, plays a good style of football. He's overachieved at Leatherhead based on the budget they had. I think when he took over at Leatherhead, they were sort of a bottom six side. He's took them up to pretty much sixth in the table, so just off of the playoffs. I think certainly if you look at Concord Rangers, there's a lot of similarities there with a team that finished just above the relegation zone this year. And I think with bringing Sammy on board and an exciting brand of football, good contacts with some of the professional clubs, they're probably going to look to push higher in the league this year.
What do you think the target would be set for Sammy at Concord? Because they was 21st, they just about escaped relegation. But because of his contacts that we know he's got, would you target mid-table or would you look for the playoffs?
I think that whenever you go into a club, you say, well, I'd like to do better next year than we did the previous year. I'm sure they'll have internal targets that they'd like to meet, but they're not going to disclose them at this stage. There's still a lot of recruitment to be done. I think certainly you've seen players arrive this week and last week, which will make the team stronger. So I think they'll be looking upwards. But I think any team probably aspires to be playoffs. But I think for Concord, I think you also have to bear in mind that they're a club that like to bring people through. They've got a very strong under-18 side, and we've seen over the last 2 years, 7 of their under-18s played for the first team. They've just offered new contracts for 2 of the under-18s for next year. So I think it's a combination of using the youth facilities that they have with Sammy's contacts to hopefully get a blend of experience and youth.
When you put Sammy Moore, obviously a very, very strong first season at Leatherhead, do you think it's very disappointing for Leatherhead in the league below, in the terms of Leatherhead can't get to the Conference South? Or do you think the new manager they brought in, I can't remember his name, do you think he'll be under massive amounts of pressure because of that near top 5 finish last year?
I'm not really sure. I don't know much about the new manager that's come into Leatherhead. I think that once supporters have reached a certain level, then obviously expectations kind of look at that level as being the minimum requirement and possibly more. So yes, I think there will be pressure on managers to achieve, as there are pressures on all managers to achieve. So I think if I'm a Leatherhead fan, I'm disappointed that Sammy's moved on. But I think in football, you have to accept that it's a very transient business. People come, people go. And Sammy's had an opportunity that he's wanted to take, and all good luck to him in National South.
Now obviously there's a team I don't like to talk about for another season, but I'm going to have to. Dulwich Hamlet, they got promoted to the Conference South. What do you expect from Dulwich next year?
Look, I think Dulwich, they were clearly the second best side. I think they deserve to be promoted, and I think with the fan base that they have, and whatever you want to say about Dulwich fans, you can't deny that they bring a lot of fans. 2,000 gates, 3,300 people at the playoff final. I think Dulwich will be a credit to the National South. I think they bring another strong team to what is looking to me like a pretty strong league, and I'm sure that both them and us will look forward to renewing our rivalry next season.
I'm not too sure that. And of course, on Dulwich, Reece Halasani, would you expect him to stay? Or do you think, because of that strong season in the Bostick League, there'll be other National League clubs sniffing around him?
Look, I've got no idea about what his plans are. All I would say is that he's had a couple of really bad injuries. He's managed to rebuild his career at Dulwich. He's done extremely well. He's proved beyond doubt that he's an established, very good Bostick Premier player. And now he moves up to the National South. And from a player's perspective, I think you always want to play at a high level. So he's got the chance to do that in the Bostick South next season. Whether he feels that he would want to go and try a league club, I don't know. But I think that all that he can do is keep playing well and see where that takes him. But as I say, you know, I've no idea what Reece Alessani plans to do.
Come on, you've got to get up this top scout thing. So now there's time to talk about one club, and it's the best club in the world in our opinion, Bellericay, obviously. Lee, when you look up for us next season, obviously we all know Glenn's got a lot of money behind us, but we're in the National League. There are a lot of teams like Torquay, Woking that are in there that expect probably to go straight back up. For us, do you expect promotion, or do you think solidify it? Can't pronounce that now. Next season, this season, and then go up next year. If you was the owner, what would be your plan?
I think that I mean, the owner's plan is that we make the playoffs, and I think that's a reasonable assumption. I don't think you can start a season and say that you know, we're not going to target at least the playoffs. So I think targeting the playoffs is a good idea. Is something I fully agree with. You know, as to whether we can achieve that, you know, we'll have to wait and see. I think the next month is key in terms of which players are we going to keep, which players are we going to bring in, and you know, how are we planning to play, what formation we're going to use. You know, so I think that before we can say where we're going to finish, I think I would, as a fan, I would go in. I'd think, well, based on the money that's gone in and based on the ambition of the owner, I'd like to see us finish in the playoff positions.
Well, obviously there's a new playoff system there, so where in the playoffs would you like to finish? 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, or 8th?
I'll take anywhere in the playoffs, thanks very much.
I am not offering, mate. And of course, there's one massive thing in a football club getting promoted, it's recruitment. When you look at our team from last year's performances, this year, what would be your recruitment in the team? So what would you target to improve?
I think first of all you've got to recognise that, you know, we have a very strong team, a very strong squad. I think if you look across at the team, then up front we don't appear to be lacking in goals. I think that we've got proven goal scorers who have scored at a higher level too. So I would say that based on the, you know, the forwards that we've got a pretty decent forward line. If we want to bring in, you know, someone young, hungry to supplement that forward line, perhaps somebody who's been let go by a National League club, then, you know, I think that could possibly be something that would be interesting. I think then, you know, when you say, well, look, what could be conceived as being a development area, then I think certainly we probably over the course of the season conceded too many goals. I think I'd certainly like to see us, you know, possibly bring in a couple of personnel that would, you know, supplement the very good guys that we've already got in defence. You know, I think we certainly need a leader centre back to replace Swain, who's left the club now, and certainly I think it depends on how Harry wants to play. But I think, you know, if we're looking at having flexibility to use 3 at the back, then I think we probably need to strengthen on the wing back side of things. I think perhaps somebody on the left to give some support to Josh. He's a very good player, but we weren't able to rotate him at all. And I think that when we get to the higher level with the long trips, we probably need somebody there as cover. And then, you know, so on the right hand side, I'd actually like to see Brendan Okran given a chance, either wing back or on the right wing. So I think those are the sort of areas I'd like to target. I think any team that goes up, moves on from one season to another, you always tend to have 2 or 3 people that come in that add a little bit more to the squad. So I think, you know, I'm not sure who the people will be or what positions they will be, but I think that's probably about the right number of people.
Well, for me, in positions, I'm also you're going to have your say in a minute. You've revised, got some targets there, I'm sure. For me, I think we need a backup goalkeeper. The reason is I think we need a younger goalkeeper here, because, you know, when Alan decides to maybe retire, you know, there's no confirmation of that happening. I think we need somebody young in our squad that can, you know, settle for the first season in goal, and in the next 2 years we expect quite a lot. Now, I've been in contact with one of the people on Twitter, Top Scout, go and follow him, great Twitter page, and he suggested Grant Smith from Boreham Wood, but my early assumption would have been the Harlow goalkeeper.
Well, you know, I don't know who the guy from Boreham Wood is, I haven't seen him. I think in terms of goalkeepers, I think that, you know, you have to get the balance right between, you know, do you bring in a goalkeeper that's going to sit on the bench, or are you bringing in a goalkeeper to start? Because, you know, the ability that you have, you know, in terms of if you're going to go out and get a National League player, you know, who's ambitious, and have him start half the games or almost none of the games, then it's not going to work. So I think on the goalkeeping department, you know, you have to make a decision whether you want to run with Alan or you want to run with somebody else. And you know, if you are going to run with somebody else, I think they'd have to be a pretty fine keeper to be better than Alan.
Do you think Jack deserves to be given an opportunity?
I don't think Jack's ever let us down. I think Jack could quite easily cover between the sticks, but you know, as I say, Jack hasn't played very much last season, and you know, you wonder whether, based on the fact that he hasn't played, whether he is the person that, you know, we would want to have in goal, you know, permanently. You know, as I said, he hasn't let us down, so I wouldn't have an objection, but you know, it depends on what management think.
Well, anyway, Super Alan Jr. ain't left yet, so let's not worry about that.
Yeah.
Lee, when you look at the positional structure, obviously you've mentioned 2 right backs if we play a back 3, but if we play a back 4, don't you think we're quite weak on the left back and right backs?
I mean, I think Joe Kizzy can play right back, and Josh has played left back. You've got cover from either Matt Payne or from Robbie Evans. So you know, you have people that can cover these positions. Like I said, I think really it depends what you want to do on the flanks, whether you want to be more aggressive with an attacking style wing back, or whether you want a more traditional guy that sort of stays back. And you know, they're very different roles. So it depends on how the manager wants to play. Like I say, I think that in defence, with having all the games that we have, I think perhaps, you know, we could have 1 or 2 extra bodies in there to, as I say, supplement, not replace what we have.